An oil spill is often seen as a sudden event, a dramatic explosion, a broken pipeline, a dark layer of oil spreading across the ocean. But in reality, what we see is only the visible outcome of a much longer and more complex process. The disaster does not begin at the moment oil touches water. It begins much earlier, inside systems that slowly lose their ability to stay safe. Modern oil extraction and transportation systems operate under extreme conditions. Offshore drilling platforms, pipelines, and oil tankers deal with high pressure, high temperature, and highly corrosive environments. Over time, materials begin to degrade. This happens through processes like electrochemical corrosion, metal fatigue, and microscopic cracking. These changes are usually small and hard to detect. A tiny crack in a pipeline does not immediately cause a leak. A weakened valve does not fail right away. But each small defect reduces what engineers call the safety margin. This is the system's ability to handle stress without breaking. As long as the safety margin exists, the system can absorb small problems, but when too many small issues build up, the margin disappears. At that point, even a minor trigger can cause a major failure. This is where human factors become critical. Research in industrial safety shows that large accidents rarely come from a single mistake. Instead, they happen when multiple small failures align. This idea is often explained using the Swiss cheese model. Each layer of safety has holes, and when those holes line up, the system fails. A clear example is the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. On April 20th, 2010, an offshore drilling rig exploded, killing 11 workers. Over the next 87 days, about 4.9 million barrels of oil were released into the Gulf of Mexico. The investigation showed that the disaster was not caused by a single error. It was a chain of decisions and technical failures, unstable cement in the well, misinterpreted pressure test data, and decisions that prioritized speed over safety. Another well-known case is the Exxon Valdez oil spill. A tanker ran aground and spilled around 11 million gallons of crude oil. More than 2,000 kilometers of coastline were affected. Again, the cause was not just one mistake. Fatigue, weak monitoring systems, and human error all played a role. These events show an important point. Oil spill disasters are system failures, not simple accidents. Once oil is released, a new phase begins. This phase is studied in environmental science as a set of processes called weathering. These processes change the oil physically and chemically as it interacts with the environment. The first process is spreading. Oil quickly forms a thin layer on the surface of the water because of differences in density and surface tension. This layer can expand rapidly, covering large areas in a short time. Next is evaporation. Lighter components of oil, such as benzene and toluene, evaporate into the air within hours or days. This reduces the volume of the spill, but it creates air pollution and health risks for humans and animals. Some components dissolve into the water. Toxic substances, especially polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons or PAHs, enter the water column. These chemicals are dangerous because they can damage living cells and may cause cancer. At the same time, waves and wind mix the oil with water, creating an emulsion. This thick, sticky substance, often called mousse, is much harder to clean and can remain in the environment for a long time. Oil does not stay only on the surface. Some of it breaks into small droplets and moves into the water column. Some attaches to particles and sinks to the seabed. This means the impact of an oil spill is not limited to one layer. It affects the surface, the water, and the seabed. The biological impact begins at the smallest level, the cell. Toxic compounds like PAHs can enter cells and damage DNA. In plankton, which form the base of the marine food chain, this reduces their ability to grow and reproduce. Because plankton support many other species, the effect spreads through the entire ecosystem. Fish absorb toxins through their gills and skin. Seabirds are affected when oil coats their feathers, destroying their ability to stay warm and dry. Marine mammals can inhale toxic vapors, which damage their lungs and internal organs. One of the most serious long-term effects is bioaccumulation. This means toxins build up inside living organisms over time. When predators eat contaminated prey, the concentration of toxins increases. This process is called biomagnification. As a result, animals at the top of the food chain, including humans, face the highest levels of exposure. Another important point is that many effects are delayed. After the Deepwater Horizon spill, studies found long-term damage to fish populations, including reduced reproduction and organ damage. In Prince William Sound, where the Exxon Valdez spill occurred, oil residues were still found in sediments more than 20 years later. This shows that even when the surface looks clean, the ecosystem may still be damaged. In some cases, ecosystems can reach a tipping point. This is a threshold where the system can no longer recover to its original state. For example, coastal wetlands or coral reefs damaged by oil may lose their ability to support the same level of biodiversity. Once this happens, recovery becomes very slow or even impossible. From a systems perspective, oil spills are not just environmental events, they are failures in risk management. The oil industry has improved safety standards over time. Technologies like real-time monitoring, better blowout preventers, and stricter regulations have reduced some risks, but no complex system is completely safe. As long as there is pressure to reduce costs and increase production, risk will always exist. My view is simple. Focusing only on the visible spill is not enough. If we only react when oil reaches the ocean, we are already too late. The real opportunity is in prevention, detecting early signs of failure, maintaining systems properly, and building a strong safety culture. At the individual level, the connection may seem distant. Most people are not involved in oil drilling or transport, but we are all part of the demand system. Oil is used in fuel, plastics, chemicals, and many everyday products. This creates a link between consumption and risk. Reducing unnecessary consumption, supporting cleaner energy, and being aware of supply chains are small steps. They don't eliminate risk, but they reduce pressure on the system. Oil spill disasters do not begin with a dramatic moment. They begin quietly through small changes in materials, small decisions in operations, and small risks that are ignored over time. By the time we see oil on the water, the most important part of the story has already happened.